Okay, this is Sean V. Bradley. I am now here at the end of day 2. Now I'm working with the internet sales department. Previously, I was working with the entire showroom. So the homework, ladies, was for you to ask me any type of question. So who's going to go first?
I will.
Okay, louder so they could hear.
Okay. I was wondering if you had one piece of wisdom for us on our jobs, what would the most important thing you could tell us be?
Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the question is, can you see me fine?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the question is, if I had one piece of wisdom, well, I don't ever shut up, so I've got a ton of wisdom. Go to automotiveinternetsales.com. But what I would say is this: master your craft. Master your craft. That is the best and most honest answer that I could give you all, is master your craft, which means know everything about your industry. You two ladies are appointment setters, okay? Your primary focus is to what? Set appointments, okay? So then that means that you need to know everything about appointment setting. So let's go through it. You need to know the outbound phone call process. You need to know the inbound phone call process. You need to know the top 5 reasons why people are going online. You need to know at least 25 to 35 rebuttals or responses. That means you need to know 5 to 7 responses for price, 5 to 7 responses for convenience, 5 to 7, and so on and so on. So again, you need the outbound phone call process, inbound phone call process, objections, rebuttals, top 5 reasons why people are going online. You need to know your value package proposition. What is different and better about your organization than anybody else? You need to know your CRM tool inside and out. You need to wear your headsets. Always wear your headsets. Do you know why? Okay, good. I'll tell you. Because you don't want to have a situation where you're like this, where you have your phone. Most people do this. They have their phone and they have it tilted. And then what most people do if they don't wear headsets is they kind of like paraphrase. After they get off the phone, they'll try to remember shorthand or whatever. The true way to do this is if you have a headset on, as you are typing, so as you are, you have let's say you have the prospect screen open right here, you've got the phone on, what you want to be able to do is take notes as you are talking to the prospect. You want to have methodical, thorough notes, because remember, you're not going to have a one-time close. You're not going to have a one-shot phone call all the time. So if you've got to re-engage the prospect, the more intelligent information that's articulated in the CRM, the better chance for re-engagement and a hot re-engagement. Make sense? So, headsets. Now, as far as when I say master your craft, you need to know all the different lead source providers. Everybody from Cars Direct, AutoBytel, Dealix, AudioUSA, TrueCar.com, CarWoo. You need to know the companies that show up when you search for your vehicles in Heath, Ohio, or Columbus, Ohio. You want to know some of the parasite companies out there like Car Gurus. You want to know about Cars.com. You want to know about AutoTrader. You want to know about online classifieds. You need to understand about eBay, eBay Local, about Craigslist. You need to understand, Edmunds.com, Kelley Blue Book. Again, Edmunds.com, Kelley Blue Book. Does that make sense? Okay, this is really, really important information. You need to understand how to time manage and organize your day. You need to know how to put first things first. You need to know how to prioritize things. So I know you said if I had one thing to say. That was an elaboration of the information of master your craft. Next question.
I think my biggest problem is that when I get a lot of sales calls, they just want to know about price.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest problem. I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, let's go live on this. Now, you said sales call. Let's be specific, because it's bi-directional. There's an outbound phone call process and there's an inbound phone call process. Predominantly, the majority of your life is making outbound phone calls. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that. How do they ask for price?
On my inbound phone calls is what they usually do.
Okay, let's go. So let's just say, I'm gonna answer the phone.
Okay.
So just go ring, and I'm you now. Go ahead.
Okay, ring.
Thank you for calling John Hinder Honda. Sean speaking. Are you calling about one of our specials?
No.
Okay.
And
So
I'm just calling about your 2013 Accord. What's your price on that?
oh, absolutely. That vehicle is definitely available. And your name is?
Brittany.
Okay, Brittany. How would you spell your last name?
D-
Stop. Okay, so what I'm doing right from the door is this. Don't just succumb to the pressure or the fear about what these other people are going to say, want, or demand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
First things first, sales success is about controlling the flow of the conversation. Whoever controls the flow of the conversation is going to, actually do the best in the phone call. If the customer's leading you around, going this way, going that way, going under there, going up on the roof, all that other stuff, you're never going to be successful. You've got a process. Now, let's start, and I'm not evading, I'm trying to build the information. Do you know what your number one objective is when you take an inbound phone call? Quick.
To get the appointment.
Negative. No. See? As the director, you need to turn around and really train your people and reinforce with your people what the mission is. Because if they don't know the mission, any road will get them to the wrong direction, right? So follow me on this. When you are making an outbound phone call, there's only two objectives, ladies. There's only two objectives. The first objective, and the reason why I'm saying ladies is there's a guy here, he's the director, so I'm addressing the coordinators, the females. So ladies, the only objective if you're making an outbound phone call is to secure the appointment. If you cannot secure the appointment, your secondary protocol is to gather as much information as possible and set up for a TO. I'm going to repeat that. An outbound phone call, when you're making your outbound internet phone attempts, your number one protocol is to secure an appointment. If you cannot secure an appointment, your secondary protocol is to gather as much information as possible and then set up for a quality TO. Now, however, if you're taking an inbound phone up, it's not the same situation as you had with the outbound, because at least if you have an internet prospect sheet, you have their name, phone number, email address, maybe what they're looking for, or maybe even the exact vehicle. So that's why it's different. But when you take an inbound phone call, I don't care if you have caller ID or not, I wouldn't trust it. You don't know who that person is, what the contact information is. So what the number one thing, your number one objective for an inbound phone up is not the appointment. It's to gather contact information. The number one mission of an inbound, or I should say the first mission of an inbound phone call, is to gather contact information. Then the secondary mission is to secure an appointment. And if you can't secure an appointment, the third and final part of the mission is basically set up for a quality TO. So it's very similar to an outbound phone call. The only difference is there's an extra step that's the first step on an inbound phone call, is to gather quality information. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh. So what if you get an inbound phone call and they won't give you any information? They just want the
We're gonna drill all that. I promise. I want to build into stuff. What you got to do. It's like, what happens if I get hit by a car? What happens if this happens? What happens if that happens? Let's focus on what the strategy is first. Once you understand the strategy, you'll be able to put this together. What do you want to accomplish with a phone call? That's the better question. Okay. I explained to you what the mission is, right? But the next part of this is, what am I looking to do on the phone call? Let's ask that question back to you. I'm going to answer your question, unfortunately, with a question. What do you think the goal is? Not what the mission is now, but obviously it's the appointment, but how are you going to do that? How are you going to get somebody to commit to an appointment and show up? What are you doing through the phone call? Do you even understand, ladies, what you're doing during the phone call? What is it you're looking to accomplish? What are you trying to do?
Build a rapport with them
Even more than that. It's more than a rapport.
to secure the appointment, sell the car.
How? No, you're not selling it. Absolutely not. You're not selling the car at all.
I know.
No. Negative. On the phones. The reason why I'm asking is because I want to teach you. It's not about the car. This might sound crazy because you work in a car dealership. It's about selling the appointment. Here's the reason why. Over 80% of people that submit a purchase request or contact you are going to buy something different once they come into the dealership. This is crazy. Over 80% of people that come in from the phone or internet are going to buy something different. Either the vehicle's not available, the color, the options, the specs not available. They can't afford the car, the down payment, the monthly payment. Their credit is banged up, or they're upside down on their trade. So there's several different reasons why they're not going to buy that exact car. So it's never about the car. You should never focus on the car. Don't lie and move off of it, but don't stress it. A lot of untrained sales professionals on the showroom floor that work with the phones, and I'm damn sure a lot of untrained internet BDC people, they focus on the car. You're not selling cars, ladies. You're selling appointments. You know what I mean? So you need to sell the value of them showing up. Now, to answer it a little bit further, the question I asked you was, what is the strategy? What is the goal? You ready for it? Mm-hmm. And I want you to watch this video over and over again. Is this. Your goal is to exceed the prospect's expectations. Price, and here's your direct answer. You're talking about price, price, price. Price is only relevant with the absence of value. See, you haven't sold cars, but if you worked on the showroom floor team, and I know you have as the manager, but if you worked on the showroom floor, you understand the concept of somebody coming in and wants to buy a car, right? Don't you think there's people like, I don't want the price. Do you know what every manager says in that situation? Did you give them a test drive? Did you do a product presentation? Why do you think, let's ask you, why do you think a general sales manager, or sales manager asked every salesperson that comes to the desk and wants a price, boss, they want a price, boss, they want a price? And why does every single manager that's worth anything will say these words? Did you do a test drive? Did you do a product presentation? Why do you think they ask those questions?
I think to get the customer invested in that car, to see themselves in it, to drive it, and then all of a sudden, I think their attitude would change more about the price.
That's definitely part of it. That's definitely part of it. But what you want to also add to it is this: is you want to build value. If somebody is actually getting a full-blown product presentation, they're going around the car. Let's just pretend like I'm walking around a car here, not on the table. So let's say I'm walking around the car here, and I'm like, okay, so this chair is the car. Oh, look at these rims. That's awesome. I'm going around here. I'm doing this, and I'm going through the feature benefits. I'm building value in that car. And then if I'm test driving it, let's say I'm in the car, and I'm test driving the car. I'm sitting down. I'm turning this. I'm doing that. And I'm checking the visors. If I'm doing all that stuff, what am I doing? It's not just to get the mental ownership. I'm seeing value. I'm feeling the leather. I'm smelling it. I'm building. I'm not building. I'm believing there's value. The whole idea, the goal is before you talk numbers, price is only relevant to the absence of value. You want them to perceive value. You want them to see that this is worth it. Do you understand what I'm saying? You'll have a better shot to make more money. Let's say the vehicle is $20,000. We own the car for $18,000. What is the difference of somebody paying, $18,100 versus paying $18,900 or $19,500 or $20,000? It's their perception. They have got to feel and believe to their core that it's worth it to pay that. You understand what I'm saying? So what I want you to do on the phones is build value in them coming in. Listen, any schlep could turn around and ask somebody to come in for an appointment, and some people are going to come in. Have any of you, ladies, look up, have any of you been to Walmart or Kmart? I have, to buy video games for my kids. And you had some cashier ask you what your phone number is? Yes or no? Out loud.
No.
You never had?
Really? No.
How about you? Have you gone to any store and then the cashier asks you what your phone number is?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe not Walmart. Where in my area in New Jersey, you're in Ohio, they ask you at I think it's Walmart. But there's different cashiers at different places because they track you and everything like that. I look at them like, are you crazy? Why am I going to give you I don't say that, but I'm thinking, why the hell would I give a cash register person my personal phone number? You know why people do it? Because people ask for it. It's that simple stupid. Is that if just because somebody asks you for your personal phone number, they give it to them. You don't need my phone number. You don't need that. I'm buying a video game. What the hell do you need my phone number for? Oh, I don't know. So my thing is this, is if you ask enough people, would you like to come in and buy a car? Okay, I'll come in. If they're in the market anyway. That's not what our goal is on the phone. Our goal is to sell the value of them actually showing up. Not just selling them the appointment, but getting them to show up. And think about it, the average internet prospect is searching what? 5 to 8 other dealerships, 5 to 8 other websites. They're doing this over a 45 to 90-day period. There's other dealerships, there's other internet departments, there's other BDCs that are sending them emails, sending them voicemail messages, calling them their house, calling them at work, calling them their cell phone, Facebooking them, tweeting them. They're doing all this stuff. It's sensory overload. How are you going to get them to commit to an appointment and actually show up? You've got to exceed their expectations. Am I correct?
Yes.
How do you do that? I mentioned this yesterday. The only way you have a shot to exceed something, first, you need to identify their wants, their wishes, their expectations. You need to then meet them, and then and only then do you have the shot to exceed them. First, you need to identify, then you need to meet, and then you could exceed. That is what the goal is. And in the next video, I'm going to go through the price stuff, okay?